You're listening to The Broken Meeple Show, a podcast that speaks passionately about board games for the benefit of those who play them. My name's Luke Hector, best known for the Broken Meeple YouTube channel, and I'm an everyday gamer just like you. And I'll be talking about reviews, top 10s, and just about anything that connects me to board games, as long as I have a tea or coffee in hand, that is. So grab a cup, relax, and enjoy. And remember, it's only a game. Hi everyone, Luke Hector here for podcast 118. This one is basically continuing the one from previous, where I was going over the Board Game Geek Top 100 and giving my quickie thoughts on each one. Well, that was 100 to 51, I believe, and now we're going to do 50 through to 1. Hopefully the middle of that has not changed dramatically in the last 2 weeks, so that it still remains fairly constant. And we'll get onto that very shortly, because as I found out last time, it took a lot of time and took a lot out of my throat, so I don't want to spend too long talking about anything else. But yeah, general updates, not a huge amount. I mean, health-wise, still fine. Got a little physio problem with my right foot, sort of ankle-wise, but that's just something that's been sorted. Otherwise, generally pretty good. Work's been fairly, meh this month. There's enough to keep me busy, but not enough to overwhelm me, which is good compared to last summer, which was an absolute train wreck of a saga where I was just overworked like crazy. But that's kind of helped by the fact that loads of people are off work, because all the couples and all the families start taking their holiday off in August while the kids are off school. So while they go off and do their holidays, I'm basically left by myself on a lot of days with nobody else in the tax team at all in my office to basically just hold the fort. Dub, 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 dee, dub, dee, dub, dub. And it does make for a very nice, pleasant environment when you haven't got to worry about anybody else there because everybody else is off. You can just get on with your work, do it in peace, listen to a bit of music, and, happy days. So, generally, things aren't too bad on that front, and hopefully things won't be so bad in September. The temperature it doesn't feel like it's dropped. I mean, it has dropped. It's capping at 21 degrees now, and it will do for the foreseeable future, possibly even only 19 as we get into September, which is much more manageable for a summer temperature for me, frankly. But it has been quite hot the last couple of days, and obviously doing recording in here does mean no windows open, means hot. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. But hopefully by the end of September, hopefully it won't be a frantic month for me, hopefully work-wise, because most of my stuff for September is already up to date, because I'm just too efficient. But also, the worst bits that have been plaguing me for the last year at work will hopefully no longer be a thing anymore. So if that goes according to the original plan, then happy days. Could be a much better, future ahead, really. So, once the stuff that basically things have happened to me which weren't the most fair, but, we're getting back on track. In terms of the Le Chanel, not too bad. Not a huge amount of new stuff because it's the summer. I mean, even with Gen Con, I thought loads of stuff was going to come out of Gen Con. Like, here's a bunch of new releases and stuff, but really, I don't remember there being that much fanfare over any releases at Gen Con. And even then, the problem is yes, they get released at Gen Con, but then the UK doesn't see them for donkey's ages, so it doesn't really amount to anything new content-wise. So really, we're still just waiting for Essen. And that is kind of the annoying thing, actually, because all the best games of the year tend to come out at Essen, which means you don't have much time to review them before the top 10 of the year when we try to do them in late December. That's why I think last year I did it in January. I might do the same thing again this time round. I might wait till January to do a top 10 of the year, because it is just really hard to crunch it all into the space of 2 months and less than 2 months, because this time Essen is late October. So that means that only gives me November and 3 weeks effectively of December to do a top 10 of the year. But that means reviewing and playing a buckload of games from Essen. It's just not feasible, and there are people out there that still do it because they want to obviously think, oh, well, more people are going to watch the video when I do it before the end of the year around December time. And it's like, well, yeah, but you're kind of being a detriment to your fans there if you're just putting out the video so that you can get more views on the expense of actually being able to try out these games and give them a fair shake before you actually get round to doing the top 10 of the year. So I may do the same thing again and wait till January. I mean, nobody seemed to mind last time, and it meant that I could get more games played. So it meant that I didn't have to worry too much about doing because I don't think I've done a retrospective list for 24. I don't think I've done the video for that yet. So do I need to do one because I covered all the games fairly well? We'll have to see. But yeah, I suppose I could do that list. I don't know. I'll think about it. But yeah, generally fine. So, I mean, views are going up, 26,430. Subs are climbing a little bit. The videos have not done as well lately, but that's mainly because I've done, a fairly meh speed review and a bunch of Beyond the Base games. I've basically done the Popcorn game as a speed review, and I've done 3 Beyond the Base game videos to cover the South Tigris trilogy expansions. So the 3rd one went up yesterday for Inventors. I'm going to do a 4th one to cover briefly Moon Saga as to how my solo experiences with that was, and then we'll be back onto other content. I want to do a full review of Fate of the Fellowship, the Pandemic Lord of the Rings game. I've played it. It's ready to be reviewed. I just need to get around and do it. It's bank holiday tomorrow, so maybe I'll try and do it then. But that should, well, to record it, that is. But yeah, I intend to do a full review of Fate of the Fellowship. So that'll be a good one for people. But other than that, no other games. I literally don't have any other games to review. I mean, people still send me emails for Kickstarter projects, but you know my stance. I'm very picky about my Kickstarter projects. But there is more stuff en route. I have ordered Anarchy and Skara Brae, again from Garfield Games. It does seem a very Garfield Games focus lately, but hey, that's just the games that are being released at the moment. But I've ordered those 2, so they'll come through. I'll try and maybe do speed reviews for both of those. The publishers, Glass Cannon Unplugged, for Don't Starve, are going to send me a near finished prototype or whatever copy of the game Don't Starve some point in September. So as I said, I don't tend to do Kickstarter content, but I'm very picky over certain ones. And well, Don't Starve, a game that me and my survival game friends used to play a lot, Don't Starve together. We used to play the multiplayer version of it. We enjoyed it. I'm very keen to see if this board game represents the video game, much like Deep Rock Galactic, and funnily enough, the makers of Deep Rock Galactic will get in touch with me at Essen to get a review copy of Valheim. So that'll be really good to play that one. So I'm looking forward to a bunch of these video game representations. That'll be pretty sweet. And I believe we're getting I filled out the form on both sides, so I'm hoping these will arrive. I'm expecting review copies of March of the Ants Evolved Edition from Tim Eisner from, Weird City Games, I believe. Yeah, I'm slightly brain farting there for a bit. But yeah, the new version of March of the Ants. I never played the old version. I'm very keen to see this new one in action. It looked pretty sweet when I saw it at Essen last year, so hopefully that'll be good fun. And also, I cannot remember this one to save my life. Was it? Is it in the hotness? Maybe I can find it in the hotness. Nope. New version of Brass. Don't care. Samurai Valhalla, The Grand Battle of Hoth. Nope, it's not in the hotness anywhere. It's called Tiang Nixu or something. It's, Tenaxia. Here we go. So the new game from Board and Dice, Daniele Tassini. As much as I'm not a Simone Luciani fan, Daniele Tassini tends to do a little better for Euros for me from Board and Dice. So this is the new T game, and the theme is lost on me, but it's another T game. So I'm expecting a very dry Euro of just general Euro-iness. Will it be any good? No idea. The T games have lost their kind of appeal for me. They were all right maybe back in the days, and then they just started getting very dry, very dreary, very samey. And I know some people are already singing the praises of these sort of Euro games because, let's face it, they just like dryness, apparently. Many gamers secretly live in deserts. I don't know. But I've got a review copy of this one coming on, so maybe this will surprise me. Maybe this will be a return to form. I don't know. As I say, Tassini tends to do some half-decent stuff. I wasn't even aware that Dice Tower had done a review of it. I'm going to guess that somebody gave it an 8.5 and gave it a seal of excellence. Let me just say that's probably the statistical probability likelihood, but I don't know. I'll give that a watch later. But there's some more stuff on the way. But yeah, by all means, check out these videos if you're into the South Tigris games, and check out those expansion videos. Failing that, check out Popcorn. And we'll maybe do some more digital playthroughs soon. I forget the publisher's name, but I've been sent a Steam key for Canvas. If you remember the art game Canvas, there's an early access Steam implementation of that game now out. Well, I say now out. We've got a Steam key for it, and so they've asked me to do a quickie little video on that. So I'll probably do a little tinker around playthrough video for that. So that will come in the future as well. So yeah, there's content planned. just not a ton of, brand new stuff in a sense. And let's face it, if you look at the reviews on other channels, there isn't really a lot of brand new stuff, period, anyway, unless you count early copies of releases at Essen, and the main people that are getting that are the ones who live in continental Europe, particularly near Poland or Czechoslovakia, and that's because those channels in particular, are obviously friends with a lot of the publishers who are from there, therefore review copies aplenty. We don't really get them in the UK much, so there's stuff to come. But one other little quickie thing I want to mention with the channel, just briefly, is but you might have noticed on a few videos recently, like Vantage and Vantage, Lufia, and a couple of other recent ones, that the comments are currently paused, in the sense that the comments are there, but you can't make them. That's because, unfortunately, the channel has come under attack from some, I'm guessing, some scrupulous people who have basically employed the use of AI bots. AI bots are basically comments that come onto your channel with names that are clearly fake, with comments that are clearly fake. I mean, they're the same tropey garbage every time, like a work of genius, or this is underrated, or they're very generic comments. You can tell from a mile away that they're fake. Some of them don't even try. It might say, "Who's watching this in square bracket year close bracket?" Like, it doesn't even try to hide the fact it's AI generated. And the problem is I have to go and hide and delete those comments because they're not good. They're not good for engagement because they mean nothing. They're not from a human being. They look dodgy and they give off a bad impression because people will look at the comments and go, "Oh, wait, there's a bunch of AI ones. He's paid somebody to put AI comments on here. This is whatever." And that's bad. It's bad, PR, it's bad image. But I have to basically go in and delete these comments manually. I have to hide them from the channel. Even if you hide them, it doesn't matter because the AI just generates another 20. You get rid of one and another 20 pop up. So it's really aggravated. It drills into my sanity having to do it. So I got to a point where about 5 or 6 videos were just constantly being peppered with these. Vantage was a big one. I think my lack of ability to give that one a 10 out of 10, annoyed some people, and they decided to make that the key cornerstone of the attack. Well, that one I had to pause, and a few others. And I tried to unpause them recently, and the AI comments just came back. So it's just a case of I might have to just leave them on pause forever. At least they got a decent amount of engagement before then. But, they creep into other videos as well, but not as bad. I think I've managed to cap 95% of them down. So it's not too bad now, but I'm hoping it doesn't get any worse. But yeah, if you notice that if I ever pause comments on a video, it's because of AI comments. It's because it's spam, and I just can't deal with it. So I wish I could fight back. I mean, I can't do much about it. It's clearly not just a random thing because no other creator is complaining about this. Because if it was something that was happening to every creator, then the creators who actually care about proper engagement would actually be making a statement about this. They would actually be saying, "Oh yeah, we've got this problem," or something like that. But no other creator has mentioned AI comments on the channel, so this feels targeted. And really, people can't just take an opinion of someone else. Have to resort to this kind of stuff. But I hate AI in all forms. I hate it on Facebook. I hate it in real life. I hate AI art. I hate artists being robbed of their livelihood because of it. I hate the fact that our firm office is trying to get us to constantly use AI like Copilot and stuff to help with our work. I refuse to use it. I'm not going to be convinced by any fanatics at our job to say, "Oh, Copilot's so great, I used it for this." I don't care. I don't like AI. Sod it. I'm not using it. So I am very much an AI skeptic, and I'm very much an AI adversary. So, I don't like it. All I see it being used for is gimmicks and to annoy people and to harm people. If that's what AI is, then if that's what AI is going to be at this rate, then bring on Skynet, because that's the next step. But yeah, so basically, if the comments ever go on pause, it's because of that. I can't do much about it. Hopefully, it'll be a phase and it passes over in time, but that's why you might have seen them paused, okay? It's not for any other reason. It's just AI comment spam. I deal with it up to a point, and if it gets to ridiculous levels, then I can't. Because I get notifications for this stuff, when I log onto YouTube Studio, and it's annoying going through like 20 notifications, of which 16 of them are AI bots. It's just, it's annoying. And anybody who uses these properly, who actually pays for this kind of stuff to put it on their own channel, shame on you people, because they are just not. Why would you want your comments to be littered with trope trash like that? It's just not on. Quick little drink because it's getting hot already. But yeah, just to let you know that. All right, so, and very briefly as well, I will talk about Ark Nova Free Edition, now that the campaign has gone live. People want to know my opinions on this because obviously I love the game. I mean, look, they look cool, not going to deny it. These 3D renders of the various pieces do look awesome, and I admit that it's a visual splendor when you shove it on the board. But this is excess. I mean, I'm not a fan of acrylic stuff anyway, acrylic tiles, because, you know, acrylic's all right and good, but I don't know, it does feel fake, it feels plasticky. I prefer wood, personally, to acrylic. And, you know, these tokens for the universities and stuff, I don't really care if they're cardboard tokens. I mean, these aren't a big deal to have in cardboard. They're just fine. I replaced the money in my game, because the cardboard money in our game not only looks bad, it's also flimsy. So, you know, that I can replace. But it's just when I look at these 3D renders, like, of all the different big buildings and that on your player board. I mean, this is more the add-ons. Let me go back to the, this thing here. Yeah, so we got this, like, 3D render here. It just looks like excess, because I fear that when you stick all this stuff all over your map, you're not going to be able to see anything. I mean, I'm looking at that already. I can't see where the rock bits are, the water bits are, or anything. It's going to block line of sight to, like, you know, various other bits and bobs. People from other boards aren't going to be able to really see what's on your map or what's finished and what's occupied, because you got to look for the fences in order to tell if it's occupied or not. It looks cool, but I just think, much like the Earth, because I slightly regret getting the Earth funky plastic canopy trees. They're great for solo, but in multiplayer, they block line of sight from everybody to your board. So those oversized plastic trees are probably not worth the money that was spent on them either. And this is the same sort of thing. I just don't think these 3D buildings are going to be practical. They may look cool, but I just don't think they'll be practical. And this is from a first time, I think it's a first time person. What we got? So who's this? By Kelpop Spiel or something. Yeah, so this is... Oh no, other projects made like, yeah, so this is the first thing they've done. It's a newfound company of game designer Matthias Witch. So yeah, so it's yes, it may have the backing of the designer who did Ark Nova, but I don't know, this just feels like too much. So I don't think I'm going to be investing in this. It's too much money, because I mean, where's the money here? You know, in order to get everything, including all the add-ons, you need to spend €260 plus VAT and tax. Ouch. Oh, and delivery. So you're probably talking over €300 to get all this. That is insane for an upgrade, for a component upgrade. Yeah, but even when you come on to us, I mean, if you want just the acrylic stuff, then you're going to need, I think everything in the acrylic is still going to cost you 85, which is probably going to be at least 115, 120 by the time you're done with it. So the cheapest thing you can do is just get acrylic tiles, and they're going to be €120. And then everything else is just more and more money on top. It's just not worth it, guys. Now, that being said, I am tempted by some of these add-ons. I like play mats. I might be tempted to grab these, although €22 for those two might be a bit much. A lot of people are just investing in these, the deluxe player boards. Very tempted by that, I must admit, actually. The deluxe player boards could be something I'm sort of properly interested in, so... Yeah, these, like a triple layer board with an acrylic insert for various tiles and setups and stuff. Yeah, that you slide in. You can optionally replace action cards with tiles rather than cards, which could be quite cool. So this sort of thing, I think I might be tempted to invest in, you know, these boards. I don't need the metal money. I've got better money outside. The Stitch Edge playmats, I'll probably grab them because they're quite cool. I don't need sleeves. Very tempted to grab these. These are the slightly varied board setups for the original 8 maps that are on Board Game Arena. I quite like the new versions of these maps. I think in most of the cases they're actually an improvement, so wouldn't say no to grabbing those. And that's that's still going to cost me a fair whack just to get those 3 things. But to get the rest of the project, I mean, unless I get some big influx of cash from a personal thing, you know, like if I'm able to do any side work or something, I just can't see myself getting the money to want to invest in this. It'll look cool, but they're going to be colored plastic for me. I'm not going to paint them. So, you know, they're going to have whatever color is left on them. which is going to have some stuff that isn't colored. So it's going to look like an unfinished product. I don't know, they look cool, but unless I get a ton of money out of nowhere in the near future, I don't think I could see myself wanting to invest in this. It's just too much. It's excess. I'm going to love the game no matter what, no matter what like components are in it. So this isn't needed. I mean, yeah, you can make it a Sundrop variant as well. Do you have any idea how expensive a Sundrop variant of this is going to be? It's going to be insane. And yes, you can paint them to look really cool like this, but I'm not going to paint them. So, and if I pay someone else to paint them, it's going to cost me the same amount of money again. It cost me an arm and a leg to get my Deep Rock Galactic painted. It's just, I'm also a little bit sad that out of all these, I mean, they do a ancient reviews of this, a rules teach, and some, I don't know who this one is, Ark Nova, a German reviewer. Now, they only put 4 videos up to talk about Ark Nova. I've been raving about this game for ages, and they haven't put my video up. I find that a little bit insulting, but I don't know. There's other people they should have put up there as well. I feel like rather than just pick the big 4, they should at least, look into smaller creators as well. So, a bit of a shame on that one, but yeah, I can see people are already buying this. I mean, it's got 1.5 million already, which is still only 5,000 backers. That's just basically because everybody's ordering the massive €300 version. Therefore, that money adds up. But yeah, so a lot of people are going to have this. Go ahead. If you've got more money, then if you've got so much money it's spilling out your ears or whatever, then by all means. But for me, I think that money is better spent elsewhere. Right. Okay, let's get on with it then. So, we're going to the top, we're going to browse all board games, and we are going to go, yep, here we go. So, the top 100, we went through all of these other ones here, and now we're going to get into 50 through to 1. So, I'm going to take a swig of coffee, because I think I'm going to need that for this one. Delicious coffee. Delicious coffee. So, let's have a look at this, starting at number, let's see, yes, I ended on PAX Premiere, so that sounds about right. So let's start with 50. Underwater Cities. I like Underwater Cities. It's still on my shelf, actually. Not the biggest fan of Vladimir Suhi, but a couple of his designs, like Pulsar 2849 and this one, seem to just resonate with me. The rest of his designs are kind of like meh, or not even that good. I have no interest in trying Race Sapphire or whatever it was called recently, because that just looks like an absolute trash pile in terms of its visual aesthetics. But, I like Underwater Cities. This game where you build up little cities and use the card action selection system, which is, getting the cool action off the card, but trying to match the colors so you can get the location action as well. Oh, it's the other way around, but whatever. Yeah, the location action, but then trying to match the colors so you get the card action. There's a little bit of a swingy luck factor to it, because obviously you could just draw the wrong colors for what you need, but there's a lot of good variety in here. It's pretty resource tight at times. There's a lot of competition with other players for worker placement spots, especially in 4-player. So even with this spot here, that is kind of like a backup clause, it still is pretty painful to get around the other workers. And I've upgraded this with better components as well off Etsy. So yeah, I really like Underwater Cities. It's one of those ones that just sort of, even though it's a dry game, it just kind of worked. It worked for me. I like the combos in this. I like the expansion to it, adding more stuff and unique player setups and things. I think there's another expansion coming out at Essen. I think I talked about it on the preview list, so I will definitely have a look for that. Hopefully it's not going to add too much complexity, but I like the game, so therefore, probably going to go for it. All right. Come on. Oh, yes, Food Chain Magnate. Oh, yes, one of the best games that's ever been released. And, oh, I can't even get through the sentence without vomiting internally. Yeah, I hate Food Chain Magnate. I hate Splotter games. I'm sorry. Everything I have played from Splotter games, I have hated. I even tried to play Bus on the last HandyCon or something. It was a 5-player game of Bus. I was not only bored, I hated it. I didn't like it at all. I mean, everything this lot produce, I can't stand. It's weird. Their games are too long for what they are. Their games always look like garbage in terms of visual quality. I know they're a small company in that, but fair enough. So I've got to cut them a little bit of slack, but hey, it is what it is. Their games are ridiculously expensive. Again, small publisher. They have to charge, massively high prices and that. But I've played Indonesia. I've played Antiquity. I have played this one. But yeah, nothing. As much as I hate the others, nothing comes close to the amount I hate Food Chain Magnate. it bores me to death. It is unrelentlessly punishing. I mean, the theme sounds cool. I'm running a franchise restaurant business and stuff. You know, that sort of stuff should appeal to me. But the problem is that it's mostly an economic game, which is like, nah. You know, I don't like the way it looks, even when they've tried to use this kind of old-fashioned artwork and stuff. But this game drags out to something like 4 to 5 hours to play a full game of it. And it is the most unrelentless, no, it's the most unforgiving, punishing game I've ever played. This thing is basically, they have this mentality where they basically say, oh, you know, if you can't lose on the first turn, what's the point of the first turn? Well, the point of the game is to have fun, people. So if I can lose the game pretty much after turn 2 or 3 because I didn't have the best start or didn't do the prescribed starting routine that you're meant to do in this game, so that the next 4 hours are completely a waste of time, then that's not good game design. That's just annoying. It's just stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. And man, I mean, there are people who will praise the hell out of this game. Yeah, great looking map tiles, people. Yeah, I mean, the most interesting thing in this game is probably the colored wooden resource pieces, and that's about it. But oh man, I mean, I just hate this game so much. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I find it boring. I find it tedious. I find it punishing. I find it too long. I hate it. I hate this game. I'm sorry. 49 on the top 100 board games of all time. This piece of trash. Look, there's going to be people that are going to rip my head off for the fact that I dislike this game. I'm sorry. I don't like Splotter games. Different strokes for different folks, but food chain garbage. Now, moving on to something that's a lot more fun. Can't Body VR. Here we go. We're going from a 1 out of 10 game to a 10 out of 10 game for me. So this is, I love this game. This is, already liked it in its Stronghold form, but in the Eagle Griffin form, it is a thing of beauty, and it is just a solid game. I mean, look at that. That looks so much nicer than any other game already. But, you know, it may look busy, but it's not. The stuff is sectioned out pretty well, so you can tell that there's the design, there's the R&D, there's the warehouse, there's the assembly plant, there's admin, and it's just this great idea that you're building cars, you're testing them, you're upgrading the parts, you got to get the designs and the blueprints, but you're trying to impress your boss who comes down the corridor and marks you what you've done, and you're trying to kind of dodge her at times or get the other players screwed over. You're trying to train up in your certifications so that she inspects other people rather than you, and then you have these team meetings where you go there and blag about what you've done for victory points. The theme in this game is so damn good, so well represented, not in just like, the making of cars, but also dodging your boss at work. And you got to play Sandra on meme mode. You have to play her on meme mode. Don't play her on the nice mode. It's just not as cool. But I mean, it looks gorgeous with the wooden pieces, no acrylic nonsense here. It's, everything's all sort of big and thick tiles and stuff. The artwork's good. This is another showcase of, like good graphic design helping to make a complicated game work. Oh, I love this. It's such a good fun game. I enjoy playing this every single time, even the solo mode, as much as any solo mode with David Turksey's name on it is going to be a bit more complicated than the average solo mode. It's still a very good fun solo mode. So this one is just a great game. It's easily now my favorite Lacerda game. Gallerist was there for a bit, but then this new version came out and I was like, oh, no, I like this more than the Gallerist, but the Gallerist is still fantastic. I still love it. But yeah, absolutely 100% hands down my favorite Lacerda, bar none. Like, it's no competition now. It's just such an awesome game. Really like it. And it's right there. It's always been behind my head. Okay, 47 Crokinole. Haven't really played this that much. I mean, I saw a couple of boards back in the day and I've tried it. I'm not very good at it. I'm not very good at these flicking dexterity games. I don't have the ability to judge power very well on these sort of games like shuffleboard and that, so I can't get the distance right. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm surprised it's in the top 100 because I don't know who even plays it these days, but it's more of a collector's item than an actual game, really. But it's there. It does the job, but I can't really say much more about it. I'm not very good at it. It's okay, but top 100 of all time? No. It doesn't make sense. Because when was the last time you saw a Crokinole board? Eh? When was the last time you saw anyone playing this? Alrighty, okay. Next up we have Marvel Champions. Still really enjoy this one. In fact, I've paused the other two LCGs because Lord of the Rings is kind of done and dusted. But even Arkham Horror, I don't buy any more content for that because I just can't get these played often enough. They're too difficult to get to the table on top of everything else. So I've kind of come to the conclusion that I should stop buying stuff for these things. Well, I have for Arkham Horror. This one I haven't yet. I haven't got into that, so I am still buying everything for this because I do love Marvel. But the thing is, this one, if I was to say which of the three do I like best and which of the three am I going to keep, it would if you told me right now, gun to my head, you've got to keep one LCG. You've got to ditch the other two, keep one. It would be this one. Because this one is a lot easier to get to the table. You know, you can use a pre-constructed deck and still do reasonably well. But even then, the deck construction is not that difficult. Yes, I go online to tend to find deck ideas, but half the deck's already made up for you because every character has their own half deck. So you just use that. But the scenarios are a lot easier. I mean, the scenarios, I don't like playing it in campaign mode. That's, don't like those. But you just play a standalone mission and it works perfectly well. And you can set those up in a lot quicker time and play the game in a lot quicker time than you can Lord of the Rings and Arkham Horror. Because playing either of those two in standalone mode is a bit, I mean, Lord of the Rings is alright. Arkham Horror always felt was a bit weird when you played them in standalone mode. But to commit to campaigns there, you're playing something like 7-8 games in a row, and I just can't deal with that. Here, at least, its standalone mode works a lot better, and it's a bit more streamlined. The rules are easier to grasp. There's less FAQ moments, you know, and there's a lot of cool heroes to use. I haven't even played with every single hero that there is because there's just far too much, but I still buy the packs because I know I'm getting good quality. And it's, like I say, if I had to get rid of two of them, let's say I had to move house or whatever, let's say I had to do something that meant I had to get rid of some games in my collection, I'd get rid of the Lord of the Rings and the Arkham Horror LCG before I got rid of this one. I just still really enjoy it. It's a good, fun game. Good fun. Lots of heroes. I've just been unboxing I've done the dividers and stuff for Silk and the new Black Panther. I'm looking forward to the new Loki scenario box that Z Garcia reviewed recently, so that looks to be quite fun. But yeah, I do get a kick out of this game. I like to play it on normal difficulty. I don't like playing it on expert mode like some people do because at that point it's just unfair and punishing. I like to think that I have to rise to the challenge, but I can beat it if I work properly at it. I don't like the games where they just punch you in the face repeatedly to the point where it just feels unfair. You know, that I'm not a fan of expert mode in this or anything like that. I just play on normal standard mode and have a good time. And I don't mind playing this with other people as well. So yeah, I like this one. Okay. Heat, pedal to the metal. Kind of surprised it's in the top 100, but you know what? It's a good racing game. I've got it downstairs. I've got the expansion maps in it. I've done review videos for them. I think they're not particularly good value in terms of the expansions. I think they cost a bit much for what you're getting. And I think the expansion maps have kind of dropped the ball on sort of going, oh yeah, this has got a new expansion feature on this map. It's on one of the maps and it's only a tiny portion of it. Oh, great. You know, so you end up with another couple of generic tracks. But it's a good, fun game. I mean, I have to play this with people who aren't analysis paralysis prone because this needs to be a quick, fast game. And I like to play it with the garage modules as well to have unique cards and stuff. And it's a solid game. But if you play this with anybody who's AP prone and they can't take their turns fast enough, then man, does it drag to a crawl. And make sure you play the correct number of laps, because for a while I was playing this in like wrong and playing it with one lap too many, and boy does it drag out like crazy if you do that. So yeah, it's a good fun racing game. You know, this and Downforce still stay on my shelf as like my two racing games to go to. I suppose Thunder Alley, you could, not Thunder Alley, Thunder Road Vendetta or something. You could class that as a racing game, but that's got like shooty stuff in it. And even then, I haven't played it in a little while, so maybe that one would be a third favorite. There's more to Thunder Road Vendetta than there is these other games, so it takes a bit more to explain it to people. But yeah, you know, there's some good racing games out there, so Heat is definitely one of them, and it's approachable. A lot of people are able to approach this one, even as families. That's probably why it is this popular. Hegemony, cool blimey, if you told me that game could get into the top 100, I'd be surprised. But yeah, what was this, my third favorite game of all time before? I still love this one. As much as I'm not that looking forward to World Order, because after the demo I tried, I was like, oh, is this basically what it is? Just a multiplayer Twilight struggle? It's like, not as good, not as keen on that. But I want to try it more when it comes out, because maybe it will have changed by the time I've played it since that demo. But, you know, I'm not looking as forward to it. I haven't backed it. I haven't, you know, gone as mad to it, and I think they know that I wasn't as keen on it because I haven't been offered a review copy of it yet. But, you know, I suspect people like Paul Grogan and that love the game a bit more, so they've had their copies. But Hegemony, I still sing the praises of. I still love to play this at every convention. I played it at Manorcon recently. I'll play it at GridCon if I can. You know, I just love this game. I cannot believe I love this game, though. I mean, a social political theme of class system and that, it's not the first thing that I would jump to as a theme, but the fact that one of the co-designers was the one who worked on Pursuit of Happiness, I think was the only reason I had some faith in this. Everything else I didn't recognize, but I looked at this sort of pictures and I thought, it does look clean. It does look, you know, it does look like I can tell what's going on in that, but the amount of interactivity in this game, the uniqueness of each class system, the way that everybody is influencing the board state, it's a long game. It's involved. I don't want to play this with new players. I want to play this with people who know what they're doing, or at least, you know, have some grasp of the game. It's still great fun. I mean, I think I absolutely decimated people as the working class in my last game, and I love the fact that everybody complains, oh, this class is too powerful, this class is too powerful. And the designer showed me that there is a forum thread on BoardGameGeek for every class in this game that has this class is overpowered. That's pretty damn impressive to have that. I admit, some of the classes do feel that they're easier to grok than others. Like, it's easier to work out how to do well with the working class and the state than it is to work out how to do well with the capitalist and the middle class. But each one of them can still be powerful if you play them right. But there are some people that can't play certain classes, particularly if you play working class or capitalist. You need to be hyper aggressive on that policies table because you need everything at the extreme of your end, ideally. And so if you don't do that, you're going to struggle. Whereas the middle class can kind of tailor to whatever it is they need, and the state is more interested in keeping everyone happy because that means more points for them. It's a, you know, it's a cool system, but man, I've done a full review on this game. I've talked about it many a time on top 10 lists and stuff. My top 50, I go back into this in detail, but oh man, I love this game. This is such a weird exception to the rule for a game that I shouldn't enjoy, but I love. Oh, nice ice cold drink. Ooh. Right. Oh god, we're still in the 40s. This is going to take forever. All right, I'm going to speed up a little bit because otherwise this will take ages. All right, Viticulture Essential Edition. I love Viticulture. I haven't played it in a while, though, I must admit. Maybe this one is dropping me for a little bit, but it's still one of the best Stonemaier games that there is, and as much as I haven't liked a lot of Stonemeier's fare lately, Viticulture is still one I love. I mean, I like wine. I like the idea of winemaking. I like to think to myself that in a different life, I would have actually been a viticulturalist. You know, I would have actually been somebody on a cruise ship that is all into wine and stuff. It just sounds like a cool job to have, really. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. It's a simple worker placement, a little bit of economics. The expansion gave you a much better wake-up board, more actions, ways to win the game without having to make wine, you know, so, you know, cool structures and other point cards. It's still really solid. Don't bother with the Viticulture World co-op expansion. That's not worth it. I mean, it's all right, but it was all right, but ever since then, I've never wanted to play it. And the whole controversy thing with it, which still feels a little bit, shall we say, convenient in that regard for how that played out. I'm still not a fan of how that went. So, you know, it's okay, but honestly, just stick with the main game in its essential version, and if you can get the Tuscany add-on to it, whether it's essential Tuscany or whatever, to get the other stuff, and then you've got a complete package. Still really solid game. Back when Stonemaier was putting out really good stuff. Everdell. Everdell's alright. I'm not as big on Everdell as other people. Everdell's fine. It's an okay tableau builder, but it does drag out. It does get a little bit ridiculous when you've got a tableau of like 16 cards in front of you all doing stuff. But you've got this stupid oversized tree, which is just an eyesore at the end of the day. It just blocks line of sight, and it's, you know, really fiddly and stuff. I never cared about this stupid tree. Artwork is gorgeous. Yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful. Can't deny that. And it's a nice, simple tableau builder. But I've only played the first expansion. The first expansion I thought actually made the game worse. You know, I've not played Spirecrest or whatever it's called. I'd like to try that one. And I suppose I wouldn't say no to trying a couple of the other expansions just to see. But the game was already a little bit fraught as it was in its base form. To make it more complex and more fiddly doesn't sound like it will do the game any favors. But I didn't like the fact that Farshore was basically just a rip-off of this, like the exact same game with a couple of tweaks, and then cost 90 quid or whatever it was, stupid amounts of money to buy. It was ridiculous, absolute rip-off. But With this one, I think the other problem I have is that you've got cards like man and wife and dog and cat or whatever, and basically they score if they're paired. Yeah, like wife and husband. Like you get more points if they're paired with the other part, but you've got no way to search for them. So it's just luck of the draw as to whether these cards actually work for you or not. And that I just found a little bit too swingy as well. It's like I say, it's a fine game, but I always opt for a different tableau builder if there are other options on the table. I think Wondrous Creatures, which has some similarities to how this works, I think Wondrous Creatures did it a lot better. All right, the crew, Missions Deep Sea. If I talked about the crew already, I'm not sure. Did the crew? Yes, I've talked about the crew already. Mission Deep Sea is the better version. Slight tweak to the rules and that, but that's all I'm going to say on that one. Again, another reason why Board Game Geek system doesn't work, because 2 games in the top 100 of all time are the same friggin' game. Okay, seriously, bang the drum on that too much. Barrage. Well, I already said about how much I hate Food Chain Magnate. How about another one I hate? Yeah, this one I hate with a passion. And look at this, a Simone Luciani game. Go figure. Cranio Creations. I mean, Golem was good. And Newton. But yeah, a lot of their other stuff, I kind of go, meh. But man, do I hate this game. Oh god, I mean, it already looks terrible on the table as it is. But this is another one of those games that is just how to be a dick in 5 easy steps of the game. It's just such a punishing game. Because first turn, you might decide, right, I'm going to go build this little dam or something over here, right? I'm going to just go on this little bit here, and that's where I want to go. Next person along could build something on that exact same point that siphons off everything that you're about to do. So they're already being a dick to you in turn 1. And it's not like you can stop them doing that, because you literally just went and picked a spot. And it gets worse from that point on. Everybody is just out to nick stuff from everybody else, and if you know what you're doing in this game, you have a massive advantage over anybody who doesn't. But, the economics of this game are just not that interesting. I actually won my first game of this by playing the German board, flipping over every single building that was on the board to the ones that generated VP income, and I was able to, while producing the minimal amount of power to not suffer penalties, to win the game solely by VP drip income. Yeah, that's playing to the spirit of the theme of this game, isn't it? The one that's about building dams and generating electricity when I can literally just build up my board and win by drip income. That just seemed a little bit dodgy. That was a hollow victory, if I could ever say it. But, the build quality, absolutely terrible. I mean, these flimsy, spindly boards where you spin them round. I mean, that was an okay mechanic, the whole resource spindly thing, but everything just fell underneath the spindles because they were designed by a 5-year-old. This game was just so poorly produced. It looks horrible on the table, and it's just not fun to play. It's punishing. It's evil as a game, like just pure evil, and I just don't like it at all. It really did not work for me. I've tried it more than once. I've tried it a few times to try and get into it, and it's like, nope, just couldn't get into it. Each time, just like, bleh. So, not a fan. No likey. Mage Knight, also no likey. But I mean, Mage Knight I can give some credit to. It's got some cool stuff to it, the deck buildingness of it, but I mean, I like sandbox games where you are just literally dropped into it and you get to go what you're doing, but it's nice if you have at least some direction. Mage Knight doesn't have any direction. You literally just get plopped into a bit and then you're expected to kind of just solve the objective somehow, but you got no idea of how. And it's kind of set in such a way that it's like, oh yeah, I'm building up, I wander into a cave, you find a baby dragon there and it eats you. Well, what could I do about it? Well, nothing. It's way more powerful than you. Well, well, if I knew that, I wouldn't have gone in the cave. Yeah, but you didn't know it was in a cave, so you've gone in there and a baby dragon eats you. Thanks. Yeah, and it's stuff like that. The game just sort of has these random moments where it just kills you without a second thought. But, as much as the card system is fun, I don't know, this is where this feels more like a Euro game with a fantasy story theme pasted onto it. And I kind of want my fantasy games to be the other way round, like a cool fantasy story exploration game with a half-decent Euro mechanic thrown on, not pasted, but, bolted onto it. I like it that way round, not this way round. And I just never really gelled with Mage Knight. Maybe I could give it another try at some point, but I mean, there's better games out there now. I'm not really in a state of mind where I feel like going back to Mage Knight. But yeah, just the times I played it, I just remember it not sitting well with me. Maybe I would play it on a... Can you play an app version of this? If there's a Steam app version of this, maybe that would be interesting to play. But Yeah, in its card game form, which is already quite expensive, and you've got this big, massive box set now. I can't remember what's in it from the expansions and stuff. I'd lost track of this one. I didn't like it when it came out. I didn't like it when I tried it later. It's okay. I mean, if you like it, you like it, but I don't remember enough about it really to get that mad over it. SETI. Well, I am proud to see SETI in the top 100 because SETI is fantastic. I mean, I won't say too much because you can just check out my recent review of that one to get my full thoughts. Yes, I am gagging for the expansion when that comes out in Essen. I am definitely beelining for that one, and I'll let you know my Beyond the Game base game thoughts. But yeah, I mean, this guy's also quite a nice guy, actually. I mean, I was only met on his other two games that he released, Tea Garden and something else, and Galileo. Was Galileo his other one? I can't remember, but yeah, those two games I was kind of like, meh. But SETI works. It's just I love it. It's got, tight resource economy. It's got, exploration. It's got the alien races that change up how you're going to approach the game, and you don't know what they are at first. You've got, the cards, all these different unique cards with special powers that you can try and trigger off, and the expansion is just going to make things so much better with more aliens, more cards, an improvement to the scanning mechanic, which, granted, the scanning is probably the weak element of the original game, and also unique setups, a bit like the Terraforming Mars Prelude stuff, to cut out the first round and get you into the action a lot quicker. So yeah, this game is just so much fun to play. I enjoyed playing it in Manorcon as well. I managed to win by generating so much card income that I was able to utilize a lot of the freebies on the card income to do stuff, and I was very efficient with my actions. People there were scanning and getting tokens, but they weren't getting wins, whereas I think I only scanned 3 times in the entire game. Done the scanning thing, and each time I won something. So it's not about how much you scan, it's about when and where you scan. It's much more important to do it efficiently than it is just to do it often. But yeah, I mean, I didn't know a lot about this game before it came out. It was just like, oh, this looks quite cool. And it's Czech Game Editions, I've got faith in Czech Game Editions. They do a lot of good stuff. I'm a big fan of their games, Arnak and Underfolding Skies, and even Code Names, I mean, as much as Code Names I don't go mad for, I've got to give it respect as a game that just took off and does the job nicely. Pulsar 2849, yeah, that's down there. What else is behind me? Arnak Big Chest. Yeah, I got that one. So, yeah, Czech Game Editions do a lot of good stuff for me. So, yeah, really enjoyed this one, and I'm very happy to see it in the top 100. I think, top 100 of all time? I mean, it certainly is for me, but for the masses? I don't know, but this one is getting a lot of buzz from a lot of people. So, yeah, I mean, if you can have 2 copies of Crew in there and Food Chain Magnate in here, then I'm allowing SETI. Slay the Spire. Never played it, so I don't really know. But I have played the video game, because everybody kept going on about the video game of this one. And honestly, I don't see what the big appeal is. It's a deck builder, which I do like deck builders, but this is a bare bones deck builder. I mean, these cards are just like, do attack to enemy, 2 damage. They're not exactly fun cards that you're messing around with. And the video game I just got bored with. Just rinse, repeat all these very mediocre and like battles and stuff, and and I don't know, it just felt like I think the problem is I'm not a fan of roguelikes. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, doing the same things all the time. Now, sometimes it can work. I mean, Deep Rock Galactic you could almost consider a roguelike, but because you're rinse repeating like certain missions. But the thing is, A, that's co-op, and B, the missions are standalone. So you do the mission and it's done. Whereas this one, you've got to keep going and going and going and going, and and it puts me to sleep. Doing a card game version of this just sounds like it would be fiddly as hell, because you'd have to manipulate so many of these cards. I mean, look at this. There's just too much in here that you've got to mess around with all at once. So I got no interest in trying this one as a board game version. I got bored with the video game version. I just don't really see the appeal. Orleans. Orleans is okay, but a very dry game. Bag builders are fun, but again, there's a very high luck factor with bag builders, even more than deck builders half the time. And I think the problem with this one is that it's just too dry for me. I don't dislike it. I just find it, it's fine. It passes the time, and the same goes for the llama one. I forget what that was called, alpaca or something. I don't know, but that one I actually prefer slightly to this one. Actually, I think that one's a better game. But this one is just fine. It's a dull theme, and it's just not an interesting setting. I mean, this old-fashioned medieval setting like we've seen all the time, but you level up on these tracks, you can get bonuses, build up a little engine. The map element is kind of meh. I mean, that's the problem. Everything in this game is just meh for me. Nothing in this game stands out as, oh yeah, this is really cool and I really enjoy this. Everything just ends up being, oh, that's alright. Oh, that's alright. Oh, that's alright. Okay. And you know, I'm not a fan of this sort of artwork style for it. It does look very cheap. The components are pretty cheap for this. Yeah, I mean, it's an okay game. I don't dislike it. I can get some fun out of it, but I will always opt for something different if it's on the table, and I can't remember the last time I even played it. It's just a big lump of meh. You know, it's like I don't overly go mad for it. I would rather play other games that do bag building or do this other thing. And maybe bag building is just not something I'm massively into. I mean, I like it in, Life of the Amazonia, I kind of like it in there, but you're only juggling so many tokens and you've got a bit more mitigation as to what you can do with certain things. This one, I didn't really feel like there was a huge amount of mitigation with this game, but I can't really remember. I think it's just the fact that it's a very dull look, it's a very dull setting and theme, if you can call it thematic in any way, shape, or form, and it's just, it's alright. Yeah, I just can't say much about it. There are some people who love this game to bits. I'm not seeing it. It's just like, okay, it's fine. Certainly not top 100 worthy. Wingspan. Love this game. This is still great fun, although maybe it might even drop a point by now. I mean, I've had it a 10 out of 10 for ages. Maybe it's more of a 9 at this point. I still love it, but there are sometimes a little kink in the works. I mean, you don't want to play this with too many players because it does drag out with AP in that. And with the expansions included, I mean, the Europe one is a good expansion because it's just more cards. Oceania, I think, fixed the base game boards, which were a little bit unbalanced, and improved things quite a bit. You can play bigger birds with Nectar, and the egg strategy isn't as powerful. I improved the game with the house rule from Ark Nova that at the end of the second round, you don't discard a bonus card at the start of the game. You discard one at the end of round 2. And that's a good house rule that everybody seems to like, and you know, that's always gone down pretty well. Check out my top 10 house rules for more details on that. But, you know, I still really love this one. It's a good, simple tableau builder with a lovely theme. I mean, it's birds. Who doesn't like birds? And some people say, oh, I hate birds. I want dragons. It's like, dragons are boring, all right? You've seen one dragon, you've seen them all. There's only so many times you can make a dragon look interesting. And, yeah, they're okay, but I'm just tired of them now. You know, they're overused. I mean, we've had a roleplay game called literally Dungeons and Dragons for the last, like, few decades. It's, you know, it gets a little bit tiring after a while. But, you know, with this one, it's birds. It's animals. It's cute birds. I bought my dad a falconry experience a year ago or something for his birthday. He's only just got round to actually using it, and he's got pictures of all these cool owls and falcons and stuff like that. He did it somewhere in Devon. I can't remember the actual name of the place, but yeah, that was a good present. It was like a joint present for me and the brothers, but I kind of orchestrated and organized it. They just chipped in the money, and yeah, loved it. He's a big bird fan. I've tried to teach him this game. He's enjoyed it, but my parents are getting into their 70s. They can't really handle this game, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, this was a bit too much for them to handle. But, you know, it's still a great fun game. But I do find that Asia expansion threw in some cards that are just a bit too brokenly powerful. There's one type of card in Asia where you get to score a bonus card again, like during the game, and you still get all the points for the bird and everything like that. It's too much. It just seriously is too broken a card, and I think Asia is a bit of a weak expansion in general. Like, I would be happy to extract all the Asia birds out of the game to play with the other expansions and get more enjoyment slightly, but it doesn't happen often. But I did notice in the last game, certainly a broken card did basically win someone the game outright. So yeah, there are some issues with, you know, Wingspan even after all this time, but I still love it. I still really enjoy it. Anyway, talk too long on this one, so let's keep going. Sky Team. Never played it. People have said it's really good. I don't think you can play it solo. It's only a 2-player game, which is why I've not gone near it. If it's good, it's good. It sounds like it's cool. It sounds like it'd be great, but I don't get 2-player games at the table very often, so this is just one I've never gone near. If somebody wants to teach me at a convention and there's only 2 of us, then I would gladly try it, but at the moment, I just don't really know anything about it. Right, Terra Mystica, I've already said my thoughts on things like Age of Innovation and that. This is the original, and the same goes for Gaia Project. It's okay, but I'm just not a big fan of this anymore. It was I found it okay at first, but I don't like the way that it artificially tells you must build next to players in order to get the cheap buildings, otherwise you can't win. And in a free-player game, you're going to find that one person is left out and they just basically gets hosed as a result. But it's super tight, like super tight to the point where you just don't feel you can achieve anything. Some of the races are too overpowered to the point where people bid on the factions because with certain setups, those factions are infinitely better. But yeah, even the fans have to admit that some of the factions are downright better than others. I just think Age of Innovation was a better implementation of this, but even that goes a bit too far in terms of, like, you know, how much you have to deal with on the board and the setting itself, and the game doesn't look very good in its base form. It looks better in Age of Innovation artwork-wise and stuff. I mean, again, it's a bit like Orleans. It's okay, but I'd rather play other heavy Euros. You know, more thematic heavy Euros I would rather play than Terra Mystica. So it exists. It's fine, whatever. Too Many Bones. I wasn't as big a fan of this as some other people. I mean, there are some people who literally would marry Chip Theory games and everything they produce. But I've never been too sold on Chip Theory games. You know, they're nice enough people, but their games, they're too overwrought. They're too expensive. They're too hyped up with this whole thing of here's a bucket load of dice and here's a special play mats and everything costs an absolute bomb to buy and stuff. And it's just never really gone as well for me. I mean, did they bring out... They brought out Burn Cycle, I think, as well. Was Burn Cycle one of those? Let me just check. Burn Cycle, which I did play. Yeah, Chip Theory games. So I tried to play Burn Cycle a while ago, and I loved the theming of that one. I thought that was a brilliantly themed game, but man, was it super fiddly and super overcomplicated, and like, oh my god, just how much faff do you have to throw into a game? And it just put me off after that point, even though it was a half-decent game. Too Many Bones, I mean, a fantasy game where you've got all these characters and you customize your character with dice and stuff. I mean, the premise is cool, but the difficulty was weird, especially when you played this in solo mode. Like, there were certain scenarios where it was just impossible to win the damn game. And it didn't really feel like a skirmish combat because you've only got this 4x4 grid of which only certain things can attack in certain places. And it's like, right, start the battle, and then you end up with this cluster of people in the middle, and then you can't get away from people, and as soon as you try to extract some distance, they're all on your face in a minute, and it's just like, well, that doesn't feel like a skirmish game, it just feels like a rugby scrum. You know, it just didn't kind of work out for me. Some of these characters were nowhere near as powerful as others, and I didn't like the fact that some of these dice abilities just flat out did not work. Like, you know, you take a really cool ability with the medic dude, and it's like, oh, this could be a really cool thing. Oh, but 1/3 of the time it will just not work. So hang on, I paid XP for this. I need this ability to use it in combat, and you're telling me it has a 1 in 3 chance of not working at all. Sometimes even worse than that, like a 2 in 3 chance of not working at all. That doesn't sit well with me. The story, nobody cared at all. The plots were never interesting. I mean, there was no real story to this game. I mean, the fact that they called it an RPG is kind of a bit of a lie, really. It looks cool, and I like the variety in it, but yeah, these combats just didn't feel like fun combats. It was too hard, too much of a difficulty spike, too random. Yeah, I just never really got into this one as much. Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth. Well, I prefer the original Seven Wonders Duel, but that's not to say that this one isn't great either. I just prefer the original mechanics. I don't like this area control board. I think it's meh and just not that interesting. I don't like the race idea with the ring, because previously it was a tug-of-war game with the military. Now it's just a race, which doesn't feel like as fun. But I still love the card tableau system. I still love building up the different colors in front of you and doing all stuff like that. And I like the fact that there's insta-win victories and stuff. It's still a great game. Still love it. I just prefer Seven Wonders Duel, honestly. So as much as this one is still great, I personally feel I'm keeping the other one, especially with the first expansion, Pantheon, which really ups that game a lot. I love Pantheon. But this one is just like, yeah, it's cool. I mean, I love it. I still love it. It's still a great game, but it's weaker than the other. And they're practically the same game other than that. So just keep one and stick with it. Root. Root at 30. Root is fine. I mean, Root is okay, but the problem is it's too fragile. It's too... you need people who know what they're doing in the game, because otherwise it falls out of balance. The races are not balanced at all. I remember playing a crocodile death cult race that sounded great on paper, but turned out to be a weak sauce in every respect. And then a friend of mine was playing the rat faction, and the rat faction just decimates everybody. And they're like, oh, but you've got to do certain things against certain factions in order to make certain they don't get overpowered. When it's like, well, A, you've just acknowledged that they're overpowered, so that's not a good thing. And B, see my previous point, you need people who have all played the game to death to know that. So, you know, the game is a cool concept. I think the app is fantastic. I think the app does a brilliant job of playing the game and, you know, telling you how to play it much better than anybody in real life's going to. And it's a great tutorial. But other than that, the game's just too fragile for me to really get into Root. I've tried so many times to like it, and I'm just like, nah, not really. Cool, blimey. Oh, blimey, this is going to take ages. We're on 59 minutes, and I haven't even got this far yet. I think I've just taken far too long. Maybe I'll do to 25. Yeah, I don't want this to... You know what? Yeah, we're not gonna do 50 through 1. We're gonna do 50 to 26, and then I'll do 25 to 1. Okay, I just think my throat's not gonna last, guys. It's just not. Sorry. Right, so that leaves us with 4 or 5 to talk about now. So, Arkham Horror, the card game. Okay, Arkham Horror, the card game. I think it's because I want to talk more about these ones because they have more of an impact at this level as well. Well, I've already talked about, you know, Marvel Champions and my thought on the other LCGs. I still love Arkham Horror, the card game. I mean, it's still a great game, but it's harder to get this played in standalone mode. I just don't think the standalone mode works as well in this one. So you tend to want to play it in campaign because this one has a much better story from all the rest, you know, branching past and everything. So it's definitely the one with the best story in the LCG range, but that means you got to commit to it. And the deck building I find a little tricky for this one as well, because there's so many cards out for it now. I ain't got a clue what the hell I should be using with any particular faction and stuff, especially as there's more ways to mix and match your colors and like archetypes and stuff. It's just... I don't know, and I would hate playing this on anything above standard mode because, you know, the difficulty swing is basically the luck of the draw of that bag, but you can be playing this on easy mode and still get hosed by the bag. The fact that the hard mode basically just says, oh yeah, everything's a minus and everything sucks and there's just like no chance for you to win, that's not fun. You know, that's just not interesting. So... you know, it's great, but ever since Innsmouth, I don't think I've bought any more content for this. I didn't buy Hemyock Vale or whatever it was called, and I'm not buying any more for this, because I think it's reached its peak. I've got more than enough content to keep me occupied if I decide to, like, hang on to it and stuff. I mean, I've got so much of it, I can't really bear to let it go, but I don't need to buy any more stuff for it either. It's a co-op LCG that I can revisit whenever I feel like. Okay. And we've got Lost Ruins of Arnak. Ah, yes, love this game, love this game. Lost Ruins of Arnak, great game, better than Dune Imperium. I love the fact that people try to compare this to Dune Imperium. They're not similar enough for you to make that comparison. They just came out at the same time. But it is fun to wind people up. But yeah, this game's just fantastic. I mean, I've got the big chest down there, so it's got all the maps in it, all the expansions, all the player characters, upgraded pieces. It's just such a good, streamlined, medium-weight deck builder. I love it because you've got tight worker placement for the exploration, but then you've got the research track for all the different combinations that can, benefits that can give you, as well as the different types of research tracks from the expansions. You've got the player powers, which can really, you know, hone in on a particular strategy. You've got all the different cards. I like the way that items become less plentiful as the game goes on, as you discover more artifacts. It's just a brilliant game, but it's so streamlined. It's sandboxy in that you've got a lot of actions to pick and you kind of got to do the best thing that you can, but it just seems to do such a good job of, you know, keeping it rules stream. I say the word streamlined a lot. It is. It doesn't feel like a faffy game. It doesn't feel like, oh, I've got 100 different things to remember rules-wise, even though there's a lot of different actions, because everything's intuitive. Everything just works nice and smooth, nice and smooth. Now, AP players be damned. They can certainly drag this one out a bit. But, you know, you get people who half know what they're doing or are not too slow in their games. And this one just flows really nicely. It's still, to this day, a fantastic game. And another example of Czech Game Editions just doing things right. I mean, they don't get everything right. Deal with the Devil didn't work, but I give them props for innovating and trying something different. But when I guess I wasn't as It was okay, but I think it's what was it called? The one where you were building a cathedral. I forget what it was called, but the one that had a market system which fluctuated with players. That one didn't turn out as well as it could have done. But you know, I give them props. They try different things. Even when they fail, they innovate while they fail, and I like that. I like that in a publisher. All right, okay. Great Western Trail 2nd edition. Well, I've already said my was New Zealand on this list earlier? I felt like it was. Somewhere lower down. Was it? New Zealand Great Western Trail? Yeah, so I've already said my piece on this one, so I'm not going to belay the point. I mean, I've played the 2nd edition normal version again since playing New Zealand. It is better than I remember it from the 1st edition. Certainly, I think it's improved, like streamlined a few things, you know, made it a bit smoother, made it so it's not so punishing to go to you know, well, but they made it so you don't exploit Kansas, you know, quite as much as you did before. But this one, New Zealand knows it's long, but it will always go to that sort of length. It doesn't get any longer or shorter. This one doesn't seem to know when it wants to finish. It just seems that too much is dependent on the players in this one, so that a game could be really short, but it could also go on to ridiculous lengths, and I don't like it. It's that unable to tell when it wants to end. And this one, you've only got 3 characters to use, and you really do have to use the cow rearers and or whatever they're called, the ranchers, and the cowboys, sorry, and the train people in conjunction with each other, because they kind of just work together so much. Doing a building strategy in this is doable, but it's a lot harder. Whereas having 4 different people that worked equally well independently of each other worked a lot better in New Zealand. So, you know, this one I'm fine with, and I played it with the expansion, but the problem is the expansion, Rails to the North or whatever, focuses you so much on that expansion element that that's now your new strategy. It pigeonholes you into it. So it's better than it was before, but it's still okay for me at best. You know, 7 out of 10. You know, I could say it's good. I could get some enjoyment out of this, but overall, New Zealand just kicks its butt. It just does. Okay. Race for the Galaxy. No, I know. Sorry, we're on New Zealand. Go back up the track. I've already done those ones. Concordia. Oh boy, we're back to games that I hate. Because I do hate this one. In fact, this is the last one I need to talk about, isn't it? Yeah, because we're going to do 25-1 on the next episode. But yeah, I hate Concordia. I've hated Concordia since its inception. It's now a running meme that I hate Concordia. I have always hated it. I don't like it. It's boring. It's boring. Yeah, may have pretty colours on it, but it's very boring. I don't know. I struggle to get that angry over it now, but oh man, I just got bored so much by this. I found it so boring. I found it so punishing in some respects, you know, where people could just block you out of spaces, you know, without even trying. It had one of the worst board game covers ever, but I think the main thing was this one. I just find it so tedious and dull that I practically fall asleep playing it. It's like nothing in this game turns out as fun. And I hate the fact that the card system, which could have been good on paper, no pun intended, to use with regards to the actions that you do, were never balanced. I mean, each one had its own different way of scoring points at the end, and 2 or 3 of them were far better than the other ones. You know, who's won this game by taking a bunch of the cards that give you 1 point for every 10 money you had, compared to the ones which score you for having different regions or lots of certain production buildings and stuff? Those ones scored you so many more points. So you found that those cards got nicked all the time. But it's also the fact that you could be gunning for a particular strategy and somebody just happens, you know, because they either don't know what they're doing or they just felt like they wanted the card. They take the cards that score you the points for what you're doing, and so you can't score points anymore. And it's just, that isn't fun. That's not fun to me. And yeah, it's not the longest game in the world, although some people have managed to drag this one out to crazy levels of length. But I can't get that angry about it because it's just been so long now. Like, I think this running meme is kind of now a dead horse at this point, and I'm not about to kick it. But it's just not a fun game for me. I just find it, I don't like it. I find it boring, tedious, and punishing. For all the wrong reasons, for all the reasons that would make me dislike the game, and it's not one that I'm going to get back into. As much as Great Western Trail was something that was able to slightly win me over, it had to come up with a whole new edition and a new spin-off to make me do it. This one ain't going to do it. anytime soon. It's just like, yeah, this was one of the first examples where this alongside Power Grid, I think was like the two examples where I was playing like a really dry Euro game where I'm like, oh my god, this is how horrible certain Euro games can be. Yeah, and you know, and this kind of sort of segmented way of me preferring thematic games rather than this kind of stuff. But yeah, this one still has a ton of fans, and I still just don't know why. Right, well that's it. As I say, my throat's not going to last. I'm no way am I going to make this a 2-hour video. You know, I thought I was going to talk quickly about these, but I can't. There's just too much to talk about with these games. So, you know, hopefully you've enjoyed these two so far. 2 weeks time, we will wrap this up with the 25-1. So hopefully things won't fluctuate too much by then. But until next time, take care. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon. So bye for now. Have a good bank holiday for anyone who is in the UK. You know, hope you're enjoying the last remainder of the summer, because I cannot wait for the summer to pack it in and move on. I want to get back to colder temperatures. I want to be able to put on my cool maroon wool coat again, you know, that big long coat. I want to be able to wear that in comfort now. I want to not be sweating every time I do a video, you know, stuff like that. So looking forward to the end of summer. Cannot wait. It cannot come soon enough. But until next time, yeah, I am really struggling, guys. Whew. Let's stop rabbiting and just get on with closing this video. Take care. Bye for now.